irregardless if they are a radio show host on a commercial station or on internet radio or both, are these things. They got to pay attention to, and I usually describe this by showing you that with your left eye, you got to keep your left eye constantly on content. What I mean by content is audio in terms of an MP3 file, blog. You got to blog about your radio show, and you got to create video for your radio show. So in terms of Kate's situation, she already has an MP3 file produced by her commercial radio station that's really hers. She paid for it. So she can use that and she can start getting it on the internet. So we talked about that. The second thing, the right eye, she hasn't blogged yet, and she doesn't do video yet. So those are things she has to figure out and start doing. So this is for everybody that's listening, of course, not just for Kate. So number two, the right eye has to be on delivery and distribution of the content that we just talked about a second ago. So you're going to have a distribution network for distributing your audio, your blog, and video. And you constantly have to work on expanding that distribution network. So what are those things that you can do in terms of distribution? Where you can do syndication, which is something that we do here at Real Coaching Radio Network. As you heard me say, after I come back from a commercial, we syndicate our shows to a number of internet radio stations. You can also do podcasting, and there's a number of different ways to generate a podcast from your MP3 file, which of course we're going to be talking about in more detail and show you how to do it in our course, or you can join our new program, the product launch program, and we'll teach you through that so she can learn how to do that. You can also get involved with social networks, and I suggested to her to get involved with the top 3 right now. Don't worry about that there are hundreds of social networks out there. Just start with the top 3: YouTube, MySpace, Facebook. YouTube actually is the second largest network and search engine. It's owned by Google. They are almost as big as Google itself. So it's huge. So you got to be involved in YouTube, MySpace, and Facebook. Then you got to join and interact in those groups, in those 3 areas: YouTube, MySpace, Facebook. You're going to start interacting with groups within, and also start your own group about your own niche, so that you start finding what? You start finding where the fish hangs out. The fish that will be interested in your bait. And what's your bait? Well, your bait is your niche, is the subject matter that you are passionate about. So how do I translate this to me? You know, I have groups in all kinds of social networks about how to be a radio show host. And the people that come and join that network are like Kate. So I walk the talk. People that are like-minded. Exactly. Nan just made a comment in the studio, in one of our studios. So yes, you want to start talking to people that have their antennas out for the same frequency that your antenna is transmitting. There's no sense talking to the general public that may or may not have any interest in what you do. So in terms of Kate's situation, it's all about finding the people that have a passion about gardening, and they want to learn the different ways that they can do gardening and succeed. So that's number 2. Number 3 is what's your third eye, which is in the middle of your forehead, and that's about monetizing, automating, and leveraging everything that we do. It's an absolute must. That's how you will begin to make an income. And we do very well teaching you how to do this on Real Coaching Radio Network. So guess what I did? I wrote all this up and I posted it in the group. So she gets to see it. She gets to read it. She asked me yesterday after the conversation we had on the phone, how can I repay you for all your time? You know, I'm available if you want me to be on one of your shows. Whatever you want me to do. She was so grateful, and I so much appreciated her. So we have a relationship now that we can improve on, and we can get closer. So I said, well, there's a number of ways, there's a number of things you can do for me, and and you can do for yourself. Number one, I gave you a lot of information, right? Now this is again something I learned throughout the years. Information by itself, guys, ladies and gentlemen, makes no difference. The only way any of the stuff that I told her that will make a difference in her radio show, if she takes some of it and does something with it, i.e. implement it. I also told her that another way she can help me is, since we are in LinkedIn, she can make a recommendation to me. So guess what I got this morning? I've got an invitation from her to join her on LinkedIn, because you can't really make a recommendation unless you're connected at that level. So that's where we are right now in our relationship. And I also invited her, and I will, send her the dates where we can actually have her on our show. So I will invite her to be on the Be a Radio Show Superstar show, and we'll take what's next. I also told her that we have this new program that we developed that's launching in January, and once you figured out how you create this incredible value with your radio show, you can monetize it and you can launch it as a product. And this is for any radio show hosts, coaches, professionals, small business owners, and it's how to successfully launch a new radio show or any other product or service. We are launching it on January 9th next year, 2010, at midnight, and that is the deadline. So you have to do a number of things. You have to buy into the premium membership by January 9 on midnight to have access to all of this great stuff. You can also, in the meantime, sign up for our mailing list. Just go to realcoachingradio.net and sign up for our emails, and you'll get lots of goodies between now and then for free. It's called the pre-launch, so you get to learn the things that you can do in the pre-launch phase. And you can also just join now and get everything that we're doing in great detail, meaning you get all the shows that we're doing about this in full motion video, the entire hour, the audios, the text, everything that we're releasing between now and then in its entirety in the premium section. You can do it for just spending $1. What a deal. So that's how I left her. So that completes my review. So we're going to move on to our new segment. But before we do, we're going to have you listen to some incredible commercials. Here they come. Don't go away. I will be right back.
Do you want to accelerate your professional growth and earn what you are really worth?